here with Cameron Gall for our July 20th update. Cameron, we haven't talked in 2 weeks, and there's a lot that's going on in that last 2 weeks. So perhaps we can do a little recap, a little what's coming up, and then we can finish off with something exciting that you want to talk about. So first, let's talk about the intersectionals. Great news from the men's side.
Yeah, perfect, John. Good to be back after a few weeks, and kudos to the men. They were tremendous at Camelot. It came down to the last hour. You know, we weren't sure. The scores were not on live scoring, and the rumor was we'd finish second with about an hour to go, and they finished so strong. We watched Jared Coyle rolling a putt on his last hole. He flashed up that he won 4 points, and sure enough, we were the champions. So we moved back into A. And then a quick aside, we wish Jared the best in the Canadian Amateur coming up next month as well.
Wow, what an exciting finish. And then last week we had the women, a young team, got some good experience, and they did pretty well.
Yeah, two great new additions to the team. The other competitors thought we had a team of college kids there, right? So that was intimidating, that was awesome. Sanvi did really well. She won 4 points. And Lauren was our anchor, and she won all 6 points.
Wow.
And lots of women in between contributed really well. It was a great team, and we were really pleased to stay in the B division for next year.
Well, that's great news for them.
Mm-hmm.
Another recap, the men's member guest. I understand we had a great event, and we raised a little money for the food bank.
We did, no, fantastic. Thanks to Lynn and Jean for being on the registration table for the donations, and we raised $1,200. That was tremendous. Great atmosphere. The gents, we had a shootout on 18. Lots of suspense, came down to the last few shots, and the event was won by Brian Friel and his guest Ray.
Oh wow, that's great news. And it's great news that the food bank got that $1,200, and more to come this weekend because it's the women's member guest.
More to come on Friday. The women's member guests will be held in the afternoon on Friday. Around the world in 18 holes. They've got a great theme and close to about 100 players. So that'll be a great day to cap off this week.
The women always do a great job, and I can't tell you how important that food bank money is, knowing from a principal's perspective how much poverty there is in our community. I want to talk a little bit about the intersectional tryouts coming up.
Yeah, we have senior intersectional tryouts coming up, so please register for that if you haven't done so already, as well as our junior intersectional team will be competing at the Royal this weekend.
Wow.
And we wish them well.
Wow, good luck to them. And we have some news from the OVGA.
Yeah, we hosted the first round of the OVGA Senior yesterday, and there was 169 in the lead, Peter Harrison, okay, from Hunt Club, and a name that's familiar to our circles, Lise Jubenville, was the low lady senior, shooting 77.
Wow.
They'll wrap up the event today.
Oh, good for Lise. Always a great member here. And we have a tournament coming up for the parent junior.
Yeah, we just wrapped up the parent junior last weekend, and Josh Marcotte just snuck onto the intersectional team, and I think he's peaking at the right time. Josh and Ron won the parent junior, so congratulations to them. Okay, wonderful news.
Wonderful news there. Now we want to talk about a couple of things: the course improvements and capital projects. What's coming down the line?
Yeah, so exciting time. We're finally able to get out there with our contractor. Joel's been, very patient with the weather and trying to get the contractors here. He's just delighted that they're starting work. So they're doing some work on number 1 to begin, and the bunkers will be completely renovated, new drainage. We saw heavy rainfall on Monday, and Joel was required to pump out some of the bunkers, and when we renovate them, then that won't be required as much. So that'll be really exciting, and better sand for the members to play out of. Good to get that project going. It's also a neat time of year. With our treasurer, we project to have some funds again going into next year, and the committees and the managers are working very hard to put together a priority list for the next 5 years on further capital projects that we can work on. Obviously, we've done this beautiful patio and the golf academy, but there's more to come next year, and that process will be wrapped up and voted on at our AGM in October.
So how can members give input into the planning committee?
They're welcome to contact the various committees, be it the Greens Committee, the House Committee, the Golf Committee, if they wish to share their insight. And all those committees over the next couple weeks will be working very hard to make sure the priorities are going to serve our members in all areas.
Right, so the committees will come up with a list of priorities or a list of things that they want to do, and members will vote on it like we have in the last couple of years.
Exactly, yeah. Same process on the AGM. We'll do a full presentation, and it's exciting to have another opportunity to improve the club.
Okay, that's wonderful news. Well, Cameron, it's been wonderful speaking with you after a couple of weeks, and we'll have some news next week on some of these events, and hopefully we get a full turnout for, I know the junior and senior championships are this weekend, and we'll have some announcements as to who won those things. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks, John, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right.